grateful to bring justice and a closure to this case.
It's like a war zone.
This morning, we have 12 confirmed fatalities. We have since located 2 more additional fatalities.
Good evening, everyone. It has been a week filled with tense moments, devastation, and terror. Tonight, we take a look at the Boston manhunt that ended with one suspect dead and another in custody. We'll also have the latest on the aftermath of the deadly explosion in Central Texas. But first, it is finally over. Boston police report that the second suspect in the marathon bombing is in custody and alive. 19-year-old college student Jakar Tsarnaev had taken refuge in a boat behind a home. After the standoff, the Boston Police Department tweeted, quote, "Captured. The hunt is over. The search is done. The terror is over and justice has won. Suspect and in custody," end quote. The man was taken away from the scene in an ambulance. Vanita Nair has more on what led to this victory for police and the city of Boston.
Police vehicles converged on a neighborhood in Watertown, Massachusetts after a man was found hiding in a boat. Law enforcement officials say they think the man is 19-year-old Jakar Tsarnaev, wanted for the bombings at the Boston Marathon. People near the area heard explosions as well as shots fired. A big map shows the boat in the backyard of a home on Franklin Street. CBS News has learned the homeowner got out of the residence safely. This latest break in the case came less than an hour after police lifted a lockdown in and around Boston. Tsarnaev is from a former Soviet republic near Chechnya. His 26-year-old brother, Tamerlan, was also a bombing suspect. He was killed in a shootout with police overnight. The deadly confrontation came hours after the FBI released surveillance video and photos of the brothers. An uncle of the suspect urged his nephew to surrender.
Turn yourself in and ask for forgiveness.
Tsarnaev became a citizen on September 11th of last year. A law enforcement source told CBS News his dead brother had jihadist videos on his internet accounts. Police say they started zeroing in on the brothers after they shot and killed a campus police officer last night at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. When police caught up with them, the suspects fired at officers and threw explosives from the car as they tried to escape. Boston was turned into a ghost town after authorities ordered residents to stay inside and businesses not to open. The entire mass transit system was shut down. Vanita Nair, CBS News, Boston.
Tonight's arrest comes 5 days after the reign of terror broke out in Boston. It all started on Monday when 3 people, including an 8-year-old boy, were killed after 2 explosions erupted at the Boston Marathon. Hundreds of people were injured in that blast. Some of them even lost limbs. Last night, an MIT campus police officer was shot and killed inside his vehicle. The shooting sparked a manhunt and a lockdown of the entire city. After more than 20 hours, one suspect is dead, another in custody, but this is only the beginning of what law enforcement call a lengthy investigation. Now we go to another significant and developing story that's caught the attention of the country. Texas Governor Rick Perry says search and rescue operations have been largely completed in the town of West, where a fertilizer plant exploded Wednesday night. Today we've learned that the blast killed 14 people and injured about 200 others. In a news conference this afternoon, Governor Perry told reporters that all affected buildings had been cleared, with possibly the exception of one burned home.
The search and rescue phase is now complete. So now is the time to be both making the recovery side of this.
Federal investigators will continue searching the wreckage of the fertilizer plant into the weekend. Many families in the town of West are without a home tonight, including an elderly couple that narrowly escaped the blast. CBS 7's Jennifer Samp has more on their story of survival. It's all new tonight at 10.
These wheelchairs were once used to evacuate the nursing home near the fertilizer plant. Now volunteers are packing them up as part of their efforts to move forward.
I've been here all my life. I'm 78 years old.
But to Pee-wee Zahirniak and his wife Beulah, it's hard to forget the traumatizing events that almost took their lives. He said he had just enough time to get his wife and 9-year-old grandson in his truck.
I live about 50 yards from the scoop that was destroyed, and about 300 yards from the fertilizer plant.
The blast was so strong it leveled their home that they've lived in for decades.
So we get in the pickup, we drive maybe about half a block. That's when it blows. I've been to Korea, I have heard explosions, but nothing like this. It moved my pickup sideways.
Now they're grateful for their lives spared, but grieving the loss of others. Most of the victims identified were not only volunteer firefighters, but close friends.
She babysat for 32 years, and she raised 2 of those kids. And it's just hard to talk about. So I get choked up, But we're here.
The couple says they're thankful for every second that could have been their last.
It makes you stop and think. How can something like this happen in just that one split second?
Reporting from West, Jennifer Samp, CBS 7 News.
Jennifer, thank you. This is a picture of a member of the Bryan Fire Department Honor Guard posted yesterday at the scene of the explosion in West. According to emergency responders, one of the sacred traditions of firefighters and other emergency service personnel is that they never leave a fallen member alone. This member and others like him will remain in place with each of the fallen until they have all been laid to rest.
This road of recovery, we're here to help them to mitigate and give themselves permission to deal with those things that are going on the inside, to walk with them through that valley of the shadow of death.
Of the individuals confirmed dead, 5 were volunteer firefighters and 4 were emergency medical technicians. The owner of the plant has broken his silence, saying that he is devastated to learn that he lost one of his employees who was also a volunteer firefighter battling the blaze. Donald Adair released this statement saying, quote, "As a lifelong resident, my heart is broken with grief for the tragic losses to so many families in our community. I know that everyone has been deeply affected by this incident. Loved ones have been killed or injured. Homes have been damaged or destroyed. Our hearts go out to everyone who has suffered," end quote. He says he will be working closely with the investigating agencies and pledges to do whatever he can to prevent another tragedy like this from happening. Meanwhile, H-E-B stores are stepping in to help with relief efforts in West. The grocery store chain has launched a disaster relief donation campaign for their stores statewide. You will have the opportunity to add a donation to your total grocery bill at the register. 100% of those donations will go to the American Red Cross and emergency relief efforts in the city of West. For more information on how you can help, you can go to our website at cbs7.com. Today turned into a nice warm spring day across the Permian Basin. Let's check in right now with our weather specialist, Daryl Ward, to find out if those same conditions are here to stay for the weekend. Daryl?
Yeah, indeed. Very pleasant day today. A lot of sunshine. Temperatures a little below average, but still very nice. We're going to start a warming trend now, but as we go through the night, not as cold either. We got down to 32 this morning. Here's where we're going in the morning. On your Saturday morning, 46 under clear skies for Odessa when you start your day tomorrow. Midland, clear skies, 44. See, it's cool, but not cold like we had this morning. 43 in Big Spring for the start of your Saturday, and in Pecos, 39 with clear skies. Clear skies all across the area. 46 in Fort Stockton for the start of the day, and 39 in Alpine. The cool spot, Marfa in the mountains. Not unusual. You're going to be the coldest at 31 with light winds. Now, one caveat for tomorrow, the fire weather outlook. We're going to see a breezy day tomorrow along with the warmer temperatures, and in the shaded area there on the east side of the basin, because of the low humidity, warm temperatures, and breezy conditions, it's going to be pretty near critical fire weather. It's not a red flag warning, but be careful because, of course, a fire could get away very quickly. So if you're dealing with sparks, flames, anything like that, be careful tomorrow. And I'll come back in a few minutes and we'll talk about this warming trend that's coming, see where that's going over the next few days. Tatum?
Daryl, thank you. The T-Bar Ranch well site is now set to begin supplying the Tall City with millions of gallons of water. The new water supply was bought by the City Council back in the 1960s in anticipation of future growth. Now the final pipes are in place and the water is currently being tested. The new supply could lessen restrictions that are common in West Texas.
In my mind, from here to eternity, we will always be under some level of water restriction. But this kind of allows us to ease some of those restrictions while at the same time having water for 40 years.
Officials hope to have the facility up and running by May. More stories new tonight at 10 o'clock. Fire officials say construction workers caused a fire at a church today. The blaze was first reported about 9:45 this morning at First United Methodist Church in downtown Midland. Firefighters say workers were removing piping in a chase away when their sparks from the cutting torches fell and ignited combustible material in an electrical room. The building was immediately evacuated. Flames were contained to that electrical room. All of the flames were extinguished within an hour. The Winkler County Sheriff's Office wants new equipment that will help make their deputies more efficient. The office is looking into a new cop sync system for every deputy's vehicle. Deputies will be able to type up a report instantly. Sheriff's Office officials say the new system will save them a lot of time, letting the deputies stay in the field longer and out of the office. Good news for Marfa residents with prescription medications. Previously, locals had to travel to pharmacies in Alpine to get prescription medications filled. For a brief time, an experimental service was offered to fill that need, but it closed due to funding problems. Now, Presidio County Health Services is set to open a new community health clinic that will offer pharmaceutical services. A similar clinic in Presidio could offer the same. With your eye on education, the state is shutting down a local community college's nursing program. Midland Community College's vocational nursing program was closed by the State Board of Nursing at yesterday's meeting. The decision was in response to the program's low passage rate, which didn't meet expectations for 4 consecutive years. It was a decision the college says they saw coming, and they've already taken steps to improve.
We know that we've already kind of turned the corner and have started putting into effect the kinds of things that will get students back to where they need to be.
The board also voted at yesterday's meeting to allow MC to authorize the college to continue the program. It will be an extension of the college's Fort Stockton vocational nursing program. Teachers at Permian High School were honored today. Members of the Student Senate organized an event. They offered a nacho bar just to show teachers how much they appreciate their dedication. Students felt in light of negative stories that plagued the school last week, this was a way to set a better tone.
Just after everything that's happened in the past few weeks, we just thought it was really important to show our teachers that we know how much work they're doing and that we know that they're doing the right thing, and that the actions of few don't mean that everyone at Permian is like that.
Teachers say they appreciate the effort and the positive environment during the luncheon. West Texans will be hitting the running track tomorrow with one goal: to fight cancer. The American Cancer Society will host its annual Relay for Life events in both Ector and Howard counties. The relay in Odessa kicks off at 5 o'clock at Odessa College, and the relay in Big Spring will start at 5:30 at Big Spring High School. The event is free and open to the public. Money raised at the relays will help fund life-saving cancer research, as well as provide patient services to cancer patients across the basin. Coming up, we saw some beautiful sunny skies and warmer temperatures for the start of our weekend. So is this warming trend going to stick around until next week? Our weather specialist, Daryl Ward, is back after the break with a look at your 7-day forecast. You're watching CBS 7 News, your eye on West Texas.